The following homebrew sheet was built on vibes and balanced with the power of friendship between 6 players. Flying Nimbus homebrew sheets do their best to provide a balanced and fun experience at the table while remaining accurate to the adapted source material. I hope I can spark some inspiration, and let's roll!
If you haven't seen the new movie Kpop Demon Hunters on Netflix, please go check it out. It is a banger movie. It has been my current obsession in the past week, so I thought, why not make a little boss sheet for it with the SAJA boys? So, how kind of this sheet is structured is tailored around the final, spoilers by the way, the final confrontation with the SAJA boys and Guima at the end with the hunters and confronting them. And essentially it's a ritual where a charmed crowd is getting their souls sucked to a giant malevolent fire. So we're starting with Jinu. Gave him 78 hit points. We're just going to talk about the stats. With strength, I thought he was just okay at being strong. I think his dexterity kind of comes in with a little bit of like he's able to run away really easy, and he's able to weave and dodge away from Rumi's attacks. So I decided to give him a little bit higher dexterity. On top of having good constitution, decent intelligence, I would hope that across 400 years, he would at least be a little bit smart, although frankly I don't think there's that many thoughts going on in his head apart from the ones that Guima's giving him. Wisdom +3 for perception. He's able to spot them at the variety show. However, Rumi does still sneak up on him at times, so decided to keep it in the middle of the road. And charisma, of course, has to be high because he is a singer and K-pop star. So saving throws, dexterity and charisma. In terms of skills, acrobatics and sleight of hand. Acrobatics, he's a good dancer, and he's able to, like I said, kind of like jump around and weave. Sleight of hand, actually, he's shown to be able to kind of pickpocket things, like he stole Rumi's juice pouch thing, as well as kind of have a decent sleight of hand with that. So as well as tie the sash around her arm in that one scene where they both hugged. And so decided to give him high sleight of hand, proficiency in sleight of hand, performance, K-pop star, and deception because, well, he lied. So damage resistances, necrotic, and then resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. I figured the hunters' weapons are all magical weapons because they're from the Honmun, and so decided to give him those resistances. Proficiency bonus +3, and CR, of course, if you're new to the channel, everything power of friendship. So the demons actually all have the ability seemingly to shapeshift at least a little bit. I just gave Jinu the to change his appearance, where he's not like the purple himself back in the demon world. Stats remain the same, and they can only go between medium and small. Charm. Jinu targets one humanoid he can see within 30 feet of him. If the target can see him, they must succeed on a DC 15 wisdom saving throw against this magic or be charmed. The charm target regards Jinu as an idol of admiration that needs to be heeded and protected. So I kind of ripped this from the vampire stat sheet. The SAJA boys, the other SAJA boys, also have these two abilities, as well as the upcoming spells. And so I thought, charmed, you have that, obviously that funny scene in the alley where they kind of go through this sort of K-drama parody, and they're able to entrance the fans. So I thought that all fit. And that's also kind of where the spells sort of fit. Jinu, Vicious Mockery, he mocks them. I think it'd be funny to give him. I think if you've also been following my videos, I tend to give a lot of my bosses Vicious Mockery because I just think it's fun. Prestidigitation, the SAJA boys are able to throw hearts out of thin air and kind of change the scenery and stuff, so I thought giving them sort of like either Prestidigitation, or even you could give them Minor Illusion, that as well. These are not, obviously, feel free to take and pull the things that you like from this sheet. Doesn't have to go bar for bar. 3-day. Charm person, Enthrall. I thought Enthrall worked a lot, especially once again going back to that K-drama scene in the alley. And Find Familiar if you want your own cute little tiger and magpie. Multi-attack, Jinu just gets 2 arm strikes with his claws. And then in the movie, he's actually able to teleport around short distances, so I thought I gave him kind of like a nerfed version of Misty Step. Now, I know that the other SAJA boys have names. However, apart from like appearance, they didn't really have personality differences that I saw. So I decided, okay, you have your Jinu character sheet, and now you got the other 4 SAJA boys. So made them a little bit weaker than Jinu, but only by a couple, only by 1 point in a couple of places. And I also lowered their health a lot because in the movie, they get like 2 shot. And when you see the other things that are in this boss sheet, it'll make it easier to understand sort of why their hit points are 34. And I mean, like, you're facing 4 of them plus Genu, so that's a lot already. That adds up. So acrobatics the same. Didn't give them sleight of hand. Still gave them performance and deception, although they're all +6s instead of +7s. Their charisma is the same. Their dex is a -1. But yeah, still can shapeshift, still can charm. They didn't have any cute tigers or magpies, so I didn't give them the ability to have Find Familiar. And they only get 1 attack instead of 2 because they aren't as hot and silly as Genu is. Now, here's kind of where we get more into the environment of the boss sheet. So the SAJA boys have charmed an entire crowd of people to come to their concert and fuel Guima. Each round on initiative 20, more souls will be transferred to Guima on each round, increasing their strength and creating effects. So these are technically, like, they are layer actions, but usually you know pick from a list and probably roll a dice, or you just can pick the same actions over and over again. I'm kind of taking like Guima as almost this like extra like environmental hazard that's more of it escalates in danger as the ritual continues, and your PC, your party, is going to want to try and defeat these guys as fast as possible. Otherwise, it will get harder and harder. So, in round 1, everyone must make a DC 17 Wisdom saving throw as Guima's voice enters their minds, using their insecurities and shame against them. And on a failure, they have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls against the SAJA boys. They can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of their turns. This is to emulate sort of all the fans sort of marching all hail Plankton towards the SAJA boy concert is what it is. Round 2. Summon 9 skeletons within 120 feet of Guima. I would even recommend maybe having the HP of the skeletons. It's in the movie, it's like the weird puddles of just demon mush that kind of just attack and sort of basically just act as cannon fodder to the huntresses. And so I just wanted to have that in there as well. And your PCs can feel really cool about just one-shotting a bunch of mobs like a hack and slash. But they're really kind of there to buy time for round 3. Guima unleashes a malevolent fire in a 90-foot line that is 5 feet wide. Each creature in that line must make a DC 17 dexterity saving throw, taking 12d10 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. This is emulating, of course, the thing that happened in that fight, and so I thought it just kind of fit to include it here. And that's sort of it. It's a pretty simple affair. I thought that I would just have a basic SAJA boy sheet and then a basic Genu sheet. And of course, you can make it so that, like, obviously let Genu be romanceable. It is what it is. Maybe he helps out. Maybe he takes the hit again for this thing, even though it wouldn't really help that much. Or he could give someone advantage for him giving disadvantage if the certain story beats have hit. But I actually made a K-pop boss fight kind of based off of Metaton's fight from Undertale, where the players had to make performance checks in order to actually even hit them or affect the K-pop group with their spells on stage. So I wanted to make another K-pop group boss sheet, also because I'm once again obsessed with this movie. Also, I mean, go check that one out. That one's also great. I think if there's anything that could also be changed, I'm a little bit iffy on, is that, I mean, if you don't want to have sort of just it be round after round of this escalation, you can kind of have the SAJA boys make performance checks, like a group performance check, either with advantage or disadvantage, depending on environments. And there's sort of like a tally that keeps growing, that the higher they get on their performance checks, the more Guima grows in strength. And with like your characters sort of interfering with the concert, maybe they can give that performance check disadvantaged in order to slow down the souls being sucked. Or you can have it so that your players can make performance checks, and then like in the movie, they can kind of get the soul thing going on and then get boosts themselves. I think that could also be a cool addition to this fight. But yeah, I hope you check out the other K-pop video. Link will be in the description. It'll probably be somewhere on the screen here. But anyways, that's all I got.